Well, good evening, everybody. We don't have anybody joining me just yet. Let's wait a few moments here. All right. I'm watching the little person icon at the top. So, hi, everybody. So, we're going live tonight. It's Monday night. I go live every Monday night. I like my chubby cheeks. This angle of the phone makes my face look fat. So, as you see here, over here is my buddy Thunder. And then his friend that he works with, and his roommate, friend. We're just taking a little break here on a moose hunt. How this photo was taken, it was actually a still shot taken from an actual video clip. I was the cameraman on this moose hunt. So yes, this particular live stream this Monday night is going to be about moose hunting or prepping for your moose hunt. I don't know how many of you on here that are live with me have gone on a moose hunt before. If you have, please leave your experience in the comments. Let me know if you've ever been on a moose hunt in Maine or in Canada somewhere or in Alaska or anywhere in the world. If you've ever been on a moose hunt, drop your comments and let us know some of your experiences moose hunting. So here, Thunder, he's got his phone out. He's looking at the Onyx app and stuff. And we're trying to make a game plan as to what to do next. So this particular moose hunt, this was a special adaptive unit moose hunt. It was a cow only permitted moose hunt. And this particular hunt that we were on, let's see, let me close out of this. Let's go back to moose hunt stuff. Let's bring up another clip, maybe a video. Let's see, what's this a video of? Is it going to play? A special adaptive unit moose hunt. It's a hunt put on by the Department of Inland Fisheries and Wildlife. So weird that it's not playing. What's going on with my computer? So, and what it is a special adaptive unit moose hunt is where the Department of Inland Fisheries and Wildlife, they pretty much think that doing this special hunt to take a surplus of cows and bulls, like a surplus of moose, out of this certain unit will lessen the tick situation, the tick problem that's arising. But there's a lot of debate about that. See, Dr. Wade says, hi, how you doing, Dr. Wade? So, Dr. Wade, have you ever been on a moose hunt before? See, my buddy Thunder here, I was the sub-permittee. We're on a moose hunt. And what I'm talking about is the special adaptive unit moose hunts that the Maine Department of Fish and Wildlife has set in place. That we were told on this moose hunt that our success rate would only be like 35%. There was like a 35% success rate of this particular week. We were like on the third week of this special adaptive unit moose hunt where it was a cow only moose hunt. And so like Thunder right here, this is Thunder. He had to watch a special video before we ever went on this special adaptive unit moose hunt. The video went over the whole reasoning behind the Inland Fish and Wildlife, the biologists, game wardens, all that, and the Department of Inland Fish and Wildlife putting together this special hunt in this certain unit in the state of Maine. And it had to do with the overwintering of the ticks. Clearly, your moose, your deer, all your mammals, in some cases turkey, certain birds, and pretty much all your mammals. In the wintertime, they're like a host, a place for the ticks to overwinter. They're a warm body, a place for the ticks to feed, to get the amount of feedings that they need to reproduce so they can go on, so the ticks can go lay eggs and produce more ticks and so on and so forth. Obviously, the tick problem is not anything. See, Dr. Wade says I'm 7. So you're only 7 years old, huh? Meme Lord says, oh, I feel bad for your loss. My name is Ella. Says, I didn't ask for your age. Oh, I think, are you guys talking to each other? I think Meme Lord is talking with Dr. Wade. Anyways, so go back to moose hunting videos. What video can we put on next? So here, the moose is coming. I think this is where the moose comes in. The bull comes in from over here. So we're in the special adaptive unit area. A bull moose comes in. Thunder can't shoot the bull because we have a cow only permit. But the ticks, see, supposedly the tick population is really bad in this unit or whatever, or just there's a high density of moose in this area. So the special moose hunt we were on was in hopes to fill a certain number of moose tags, in hopes that it would bring down the the tick population, and hopefully, obviously there's constant different tactics out there to try to not eradicate, but to kind of lessen the tick problem. But see, the debate here is that this isn't working. Shooting too many moose in certain areas isn't really doing anything to lessen the tick problem. So I got bit by a tick on my leg this past summer, about a couple months ago. And I think I actually got the beginning stages of Lyme disease. I got treated for Lyme disease. I had to take the medicine stuff, the antibiotics or whatever that they give you to treat Lyme disease. I hate ticks just like you do, anyone else. But so supposedly by the Department of Fisheries and Wildlife issuing a certain number of moose permits, and the moose permits being filled and taking out so many moose is supposedly lessening the tick population. But the success rate was going down week to week. Like the first week, the success rate in this unit, the zone, was very high, like probably 80+% success rate. And the second week, it dropped to like 60-something% success rate. And here we are in the third week moose hunting, and we were told the success rate would probably only be like 35-40% this particular week. And so what's that tell you? That tells me that a lot of moose were being shot. There weren't that many more moose to go around, and yet they still wanted us to keep shooting more and more moose. So you can see where I'm going with this debate on whether or not shooting too many moose actually was helping with the whole tick issue, the overwintering of the ticks. Because clearly the moose, they're a large animal. They can be a host for like thousands upon thousands of ticks. And the ticks can overwinter on the moose. So see, I pause talking about the whole tick versus the tick thing and tell you the moose comes in from over here. See my cursor? The bull moose comes in right here. We can't shoot the bull. We only have a cow permit. So there he is right there. See him? He's a nice bull. He's got a nice rack on him. He appears right here. Who's on here? Hey, yo, Spike. Oh, wow. Meme Lord says. Yeah, how you guys doing? So we got Dr. Wade, me, Lori. It says, if we don't get these noise, what are we gonna do? Okay, so oh, see him? He's right there. Yeah, nice bull. So this moose that we're looking at here, watching, you got to imagine how many ticks are probably on that moose right there. So, yeah, so this was a special unit adaptive moose hunt. If you look up, Google it. I have a video, a YouTube video on my channel, Spikes and Gills, a regular main, a full episode about of this hunt, this particular special adaptive unit moose hunt, and I explain a little bit in that video too, more about the special adaptive unit hunt. And in Thunder, he had to watch that special video before we went on the hunt, explaining the whole reason behind this particular moose hunt, why the Department of Fish and Wildlife was having us go on that hunt. And yeah, so you'll have to go watch that video next after you join me here live. Here, let's show some footage of the 2023 bull. So how many of you on here are live with me have been on a moose hunt before? Are you? I meant moose, not noise. So if we don't get the moose, what are we gonna do? Yeah. So, yeah. Are you referring to like the moose being like a number one host of thousands of ticks? Yes, the moose, your deer, a lot of animals out there roaming around in the wilds. They're hosts for the ticks, and obviously there's several different species of ticks. I think I fought Lyme disease a couple months ago. I was treated for it anyway. I had symptoms of it. I think I had the beginning stages of Lyme disease myself, so I'm victim of ticks myself. I'm sure many of you are. Ticks are a major problem. She says 2 clouds. See, where's the hunt? It's right here. I got it right here somewhere. Oh, let's see. The moose hunt is final for lookout. It's right here somewhere. Where is it? Where's the... we got it here somewhere. So here... let's watch a random video. See what we got. Look at this moose. So here's Jason and Josh's moose. This is a big moose. So are you, all those of you that have a moose permit, or were lucky to draw a moose permit, are you prepping for your moose hunt? So for this moose hunt, we I see Josh and Jason, what they did, they ripped out an old bed liner from an old truck. And yeah, what's really cool for us to be able to get our the trophy bull moose out of the woods, before going on the hunt, Josh and Jason, they took an old truck and they ripped out the bed liner, plastic bed liner, and they cut a lot of it off. They bent the front of it over. They took a big, like 6x6 beam. They took a big beam, drilled holes through it, put bolts in, washers and nuts, bolted the front of that bed liner down to the beam, and they bolted in heavy duty rope and chain. They had a chain bolted to the front of this bed liner and beam, and that bed liner with the beam and chain in front of it acted as a sled, a way to get the moose out of the woods. So they did that to prep. Obviously, let's see, the things you must take on a moose hunt are you need your layers. You want to have a polypropylene layer, wicking layer of clothes. I mean, if you're going on an actual backcountry moose hunt, if you're not heater hunting, as long as you're not choosing to just drive the dirt roads called heater hunting, just drive around and glass clear cuts and openings, clears and hopes to spot a moose from your truck in the road, then all the things I'm going to mention that you should take with you on a moose hunt apply to you. But if you're going to just heater hunt in hopes to, I mean, your success rate will go down. Remember, the success rate has gone down tremendously. They're doing the heater hunt. That more and more people that go out and just drive the roads in hopes to spot a moose from the road, the success rate's going down for that. The moose, they're not as dumb as you think. And I on another live stream and an episode, a video I'll upload on my channel, I'm going to be going over just how smart bull moose really are and moose are in general. I've got a story that I'll share with you in the episode and then another future live stream about just how smart moose are, and these are and the things I'll share are backed by biologists that I run into. This biologist share with me some really cool stories and stuff I want to share with you in the future. But so moose aren't as dumb as you think. So you're really beneficial to hit the ground, get boots on the ground, and get out in the back country, get off the beaten path, off the roads, and so it's very useful and beneficial to have a wicking layer. You want to have the proper clothing. That would start with like a polypropylene or even like a silk type layer, any kind of wicking layer against your skin to help keep the moisture away from your skin or to help keep you from being wet and damp. And obviously on top of that wicking layer, you should have an insulating layer, like whether it be a fleece or wool. And on the outside, your outer layer should be a shell, like something to break the wind so you don't get chills and get cold and get any at the beginning stage of hypothermia and so forth. And you should have a shell that can help keep out the rain and the wind and cold and all that. So you should have all these layers. It's also helpful to have a wicking layer sock, a polypropylene or silk sock on in between your foot and the wool or fleece layer, your outer sock, so that you keep the moisture away from your skin and your body, your feet. Help keep your feet dry and warm and keep your body dry and warm. So you need to have that. You should have the pack that you have should be comfortable. Obviously, in your pack for moose hunting, you should have plenty to drink, and you should have a first aid kit and a survival kit. In your survival kit, you should have waterproof mattress. You should have more than one ability to start a fire. You should have flint and steel. You'll have knives. You should have flint and steel. You should have a lighter. You should have waterproof mattress. You should have multiple ways to start a fire. You should have like security heating, like reflective blanket. You should have emergency food, and you should have tablets that can purify water. In the event that you run out of water or anything to drink, you should have those like chlorophyll tablets or tablets that will kill any bacteria and harmful substances in water, so you can get emergency water in the event that you do get lost, turn around, and you run out of water, and you've got to drink from stream or pond or wherever. Then you could purify your water, and you'll obviously have fire starting methods, tools, and utensils, so you could potentially boil water. And it wouldn't hurt to have in your pack a small little foldable backpacking pot to put water in, to boil water and such and so forth. You should have plenty to eat and drink and so forth. So first aid kit, all that. So emergency kit, emergency whistle. You should have maps. You should have obviously your Onyx app. You should have some sort of mapping ability, whether it's an app off the Moultrie mobile app or any cellular trail camera app that you use. A lot of times the companies of those cameras in their app, they offer mapping options and stuff and aerial photo options, like my Moultrie mobile app does. So I use that for aerial photo and for GPS and for marking my area where I'm going. I can track where I'm going, where I've been. I can use the app, the map and aerial photo app and stuff, and functions in my Moultrie mobile app. But obviously there's Onyx apps, Onyx map apps, and all that stuff. You should have that. You should have map, compass. You should have backup map, compass. You don't want to get lost. Turn around. You should have extra layers of clothing. Probably you should have your raincoat, rain pants, packable rain suit in your pack to help if it does rain and for inclement weather. Obviously, I already went over the layers you should have for your moose hunt. You're going to be walking a lot of miles. You're going to be walking and glassing your clear cuts and openings, and you'll be going up and down ridges and through ravines, and might be in the mountainous area after your moose. And so, I mean, you've got to be prepared, man. So you should have on your list, your laundry list of things you should take with you on your moose hunt should include all these things I mentioned. Jason Gibson's finally joined me live. Jason Gibson, have you ever been on a moose hunt before, buddy? If you have, share your experiences moose hunting. Ken Mower says, how's it going tonight? Thanks for coming on, Ken. Jason, thanks for joining me live. As I mentioned last Monday night, I was going to start transitioning into moose content, moose hunting, prepping for the moose hunt and stuff. So I'm going over right now things that you should bring with you on a moose hunt. And so Jason, Ken, Music, Meme Lord, who else is on here? All of you that are joining me live, please chime in. And it said, I see, oh yeah, Ken's asking, did I get a bear? I passed. I'll briefly pause on the moose content to tell Jason and Ken I passed bear. Let's see if I go in photos. Hold on, guys. Let's see. Oh, that's the buck. Let me close this. I passed the wrong bear, I believe. Everybody, let's go to photos. So Jason, Ken, oh yeah, look at that moose. Oh wait, hold on. There you go. So, oh, there we go. That's the moose I was talking about. Let's go back out of here. Yeah, so Jason and Ken, guys, I think I screwed up with my moose hunt. Where the heck am I? Oh, wait, I'm in the right spot. I gotta go down here. So I was going through. Oh, look who showed up. Oh, gosh. I should have pictures here somewhere of them. Yeah, right here. Oh, yeah, right here, guys. Wait, is this it? No, it's up here. A little more. Where the heck is it? Oh, right here. Here we go. Let's play this. Can I make it bigger? So here's, we can zoom in. See that, Jason? See this bear? When he bends down, Jason, he goes into the opening of that barrel. See, I passed this bear, but I passed him 2 nights in a row, Jason. See, he's going. He can't fit his front shoulders and head. That's the bear I should have shot. That bear dwarfs that barrel. Let's replay. Let's go back. So I think I screwed up. I shouldn't have passed this bear. He was over here. See where my cursor is? The bear was standing right here at 12 yards. That's about 20 yards away from my stand. I could have. I'm hunting with a bow. I could have shot him broadside right here where my cursor is, at 12 yards, 15 yards, with my bow. And well, we still got a couple weeks left, so I think this was the bigger of the two bear. There was like a bear chase. I think I heard this bear chase off the smaller bear. I heard footsteps. I heard what sounded like more than one bear coming in. I heard a bear coming. It went silent. I heard where I thought another one coming from another direction. Then all hell broke loose. There was trees breaking, and there was a chase that went on. I think this bigger bear, chased off the littler one, and he come in and walked over this way, looking up the path I take to bait, and he was sniffing the air, the wind. And he came back here, went into the trees, and then finally came and sat, just looked and listened, smelled, and then he got a bite to eat, and went back and hid in the woods. But I think this was him. I think I should have shot him. He was the one I think I was supposed to shoot. I thought I was passing the smaller bear, but I studied trail cam pictures in the stand and stuff, and I'm kicking myself for passing this easy shot opportunity on this bear last week. But there's still time left. I should be able to get him. He did come Saturday night, but not till like 11 o'clock. It was storming and rainy, and the weather was poor It's been kind of muggy-ish, humid and warm. Hoping the weather gets cooler, evens get cool. I know the 2 nights that he did come in, the 2 nights I passed this bear, the 2 nights were that it was getting cool quickly. I think the barometric pressure was rising or falling, whatever. But anyways, the temperature was dropping quickly. I noticed it getting cool. I figured that he'd be on his feet sooner, coming to eat sooner, and he did. I passed him. See what's Jason saying. So Jason says, I've seen a lot of moose while hunting other things, but I have not been on a moose hunt yet. So yeah, waiting season is a couple weeks left, but can still take a bear all the way up to end of the year. We can. He'll be back. Oh yeah, no, I do think he'll be. I think I might be able to get him this week, Jason. Hopefully. I think that is the one I'm supposed to shoot. It is bigger than, because the bear that I'm after, he can't get his front end in the opening of the barrel. The smaller one can. He could fit his front shoulders and head into the barrel, and he kind of was almost the same size as the barrel, the small bear. But this one, clearly you can see he's a little fatter. He dwarfs that barrel, so you can't get his whole front end in there. And then as he turns, you can see he's like bigger than that barrel. That's a good shooter bet. I think that bear right there is over 200 pounds live weight. I think he'll dress under 200, but I think walking live weight, that bear could be like 230 pounds live weight possibly. So that's a good shooter bear. It's a great bear to take with a bow in Maine. He's a shooter bear for sure. So let's get back to moose content. Go to moose hunting stuff. So Jason says, anyone else ever been on a moose hunt before? Are you prepping for you? Did anyone draw a moose permit this year? Here, I'm going to show some moose content here. I'll play the last year's moose hunt on my laptop while we're talking. So let's see, where was I at? I'm prepping for a moose hunt. What do you think? Do any of you have any ideas what you should take with you on a moose? I already went over, just to refresh all of you. I already be in the beginning of this live stream, because you can obviously go back and watch the beginning of this later and others. This video, the live streams, can be watched like regular main stream uploads, YouTube uploads after the fact. So you could always watch this live stream at a later time. But I already went over first aid kit, survival kit, pack, what you should have in your pack, how having multiple methods to start fire. You shouldn't just have just a lighter or just waterproof matches. You should have a lighter and waterproof matches. You should have flint and steel. You should have multiple ways to start fire. And I already went over the layering of your clothing, the wicking layer, insulating layer, shells. Went over clothing, socks, all that. Having packable rain gear and such. And I already went over talking about having methods to purify water, having plenty of food and water. In the event you run out of water, you get lost around a way to purify water and such. So I went over all that but what all of you, are there other things you'd include in your pack on a moose hunt? That obviously knives, a few different knives, lighting ability to, flashlights, spare batteries, or even a solar powered type charging bank, the ability to recharge your cell phones and your backup chargers and your all that like I personally have a solar powered charger to charge a battery bank, to charge a lighter, a fuelless lighter. It's a lighter that it's a plasma lighter. It's a rechargeable lighter. The plasma lighters are recharged and you can start fire with them. And it's also this solar panel charger. Charges a couple different flashlights I have in this kit. So it's helpful to have something like that to take with you on moose hunts, especially if you're way in you're miles and miles in. On all the moose hunts I've been on, we've been miles into the woods in the back country. And I'm going on another moose hunt this year. It's was it a cow-only moose hunt? I went on a cow-only moose hunt a couple years ago. I went on last year was the trophy bull moose hunt. But yeah, so what would you take in your pack on a moose hunt? Share with us, or share your experiences moose hunting, or if you've ever been on a moose hunt. So there's that clothing pack. Let's see, gosh, the types of high energy foods, the types of snacks, foods you should have in your pack are things that pack on high energy, high calorie type food, obviously like granola bars and such, and trail mixes, stuff that's going to really stick to your bones and your rib cage. So you're gonna be moving a lot. You're gonna be going up and down hills, through ravines, up ridges, up mountains, down mountains. You could be walking miles each day on your moose hunt. So you need to have a lot of energy. Let's see what else. And so I started to talk about what Jason and Josh brought on our trophy, on Jason and Josh's trophy bull moose hunt a couple years ago. They what they did. This was to help get the moose out of the woods. So a lot of people might not think to bring something like this to get their moose out. But obviously, a lot of people heater hunt. They drive the dirt roads in hopes to spot moose in the clear cuts and crossing the roads and such, or they look for moose tracks, cut moose tracks on roads, and they might into cuttings and might follow the tracks and signs, try in hopes to come up on a moose just off the road, the beaten path. So they don't. So a lot of people will just have like come-alongs, or like have a four-wheeler with a winch and tons of rope and chain, and like just drag the moose out little by little with a four-wheeler and with a winch and chainsaw. So see, me and Jason, Josh, we hunted off the beaten path. We were in area hunting moose where you couldn't really get a four-wheeler. So see, Jason, Josh, they took an old bed liner out of an old like GMC truck, a little tiny little single cab 6-cylinder pickup truck. They ripped out the plastic liner from this truck, and they took a big 6x6 wooden beam, and they drilled holes in that and had big lag bolts and washers and nuts, and they had a chain for the front, and they bent the bed liner down in the front. They cut the excess of the bed liner off that they didn't need, and they bolted down the chain and the bed liner and the beam all together in the front, and the chain was in the shape of a V and lagged down, bolted down. And that chain was used to attach to the back end of a four-wheeler to haul the moose out. We did get the moose out by, all of us, a couple of us picked up the front end of the moose, while a couple other of our buddies inched that bed liner under the front end of the bull. We got the bed liner slid under the front ends, front shoulders and legs, and about down midway on the moose, and we strapped him down, tied him down to this bed liner, and attached the chain to the back of the four-wheeler with tow strap. We had to have some extra footage there, so we had tow strap. And how we got the four-wheeler and the bed liner out to the moose was Josh took the chainsaw, Skip's chainsaw, and cut saplings. We got the four-wheeler through the old skidder trail. We shot this moose in an intersection of old grown-up skidder trails deep in the woods. They were growing up with saplings and trees. It was thick in there. They hadn't been logging in this area for quite some time. And we were able to get a four-wheeler through the old skidder trail, just cutting away the saplings and trees and brush in the way to get the four-wheeler through. And we were able to haul out the moose that way. So, yeah. So, see, any other insight? Jason Gibbons says waiting. So Jason says life straw water filled. Yeah, water filter cordage in case you need to build shelter. Yeah, drag a moose out. Do you pull the moose out or do you quarter them? Yeah. So Jason, you probably were just listening to how me, Jason, Josh, Skip, and who else was on the moose hunt with us? We got the moose out that way with four-wheeler and old truck bed liner and beam and chain. We did actually, Jason. We did bring everything with us to quarter the moose. Okay. So here's a good point to touch on. You should have multiple methods to take care of your moose. In the event you get them, these animals could weigh live weight anywhere from 800 to 1,200 or more pounds. A small bull, a little young yearling bull might weigh 600, 800 pounds. A 2 to 3 year old bull could weigh over 800 pounds. The bull that we shot, okay, so let me get off of my mug here. Let's show some footage here. So on this moose hunt, see, what's this a video of? Oh, wait. Yeah, so you should have multiple ways to get your moose out of the woods. You should have a way to quarter and pack out the moose. You should have four-wheeler, bedliner, chain, whatever, a four-wheeler with a winch. Yeah, you should come up with a couple different ways to take care of your moose when you get one down. Let's see if I can find the video where we were doing that. What's this a video of? These are all clips from the trophy bull moose hunt, and I'm going to play a few. Oh, you're gonna open up or what? Man, this computer's being slow. What is this a video of? Just some B-roll. Oh, so see, like a lot of people will drive the road. Oh, let's go back here. Here's a cut and a clear cut. All right, let's see here. What should we show? So we got the moose down. That was like right here. This might be, okay, here's the bull. All right. This is a nice moose, isn't it, guys? Hey, he's massive. So the bed liner we slid. So a bunch of us, we picked up. There was a man on each antler and a guy on the legs. There was a bunch of us there to help. A bunch of us hoisted up the front end of that bull. And while a couple other, someone slid the bed liner underneath the front end, and we strapped him down to that old truck bed liner, attached the chain, and strapped the four-wheeler. We pulled him out that way. But you can quarter your moose, put it on a pack them out. Oh, yeah. Oh, let's see here. What else are we going to play? What's this a video of? Oh, this was the adaptive unit moose hunt. Oh, we're on. Let's see, what are we doing? So we're out. See, this wasn't that trophy bull moose hunt that I went on with Jason and Josh, but I was the cameraman. I was actually a sub-permittee on this moose hunt. Jason says, nice bull, but it was tasty. Oh, yeah. Actually, Jason, I never got any moose meat from that moose. Josh, Jason, got it. They shared it with Skip. See, those friends of mine, Jason, they live like 5 hours away. And they didn't even, and during our annual fly fishing trip on the Kennebec, they didn't even bring any moose meat with them on that. I never even got any of that moose meat, Jason, which is too bad. I filmed that whole hunt. I actually field dressed that moose. I caped it, and I mounted that moose here. I'll show you that moose mount, Jason. I will in a little bit. Yeah, I even did the taxidermy. I mounted that moose. That was my first ever moose mount. And I didn't get any meat off that moose. But see, yeah, this is me with my camera. I guess that's me, the camera guy, here on the left. And here's Thunder. So see, we got off the beaten path and went out. We put boots on the ground. We were scouting. This was a different moose hunt from several years ago, 3 years ago. It was a cow-only hunt. We only had a cow permit. It was the special adaptive unit moose hunt. And what that all means is it had to do with like the overwintering of ticks and the whole tick issue and stuff. And there's a lot of debate going on, arguments, swaying either side of the argument about whether or not these special adaptive unit moose hunts are worth it, if they're actually helping with the tick problem and such. But we got skunked on this hunt. Thunder and I, we never got. I was the sub-permittee. He drew the permit and had me, his buddy, one of his best friends, be the sub-permittee. We got skunked. We didn't get a moose. We were told that the success rate on this week that we were hunting was only like 35% success rate. Because we were there on the third week of this special unit adaptive moose hunt. And so on this particular moose hunt, we brought, as a camper. It was a pop-up camper towed behind a truck. We slept in that. We had a propane tank outside with the hose hooked up to a buddy heater. We had a little buddy heater inside the camper to keep us warm, dry it out. And we slept in that because it was cold at night. On this moose hunt, it got cold at night. And we had that camper set up on the edge of a lake. There was a lean like a shelter, with a roof, just a roofed over shelter. Didn't have side walls or anything. It was just a roof over picnic tables. We'd cook under that. We had a grill and stuff set up on the picnic table. We'd cook that way. Let's see. Yeah. And we had our trucks packed with food. We had totes full of snacks. We had tons of food and drink on that moose hunt. And so you saw Thunder had his backpack with his water and snacks. Let's see here. Yeah. Well, what else should I play? See that? We were on. Let's go here. What else can we play? What's this a video of, everybody? So there's Josh. We're giving high fives and congratulating one another on that moose, getting that big moose. So, yeah, we were pretty, with this many people going on a moose hunt, 5 brains are better than one. We didn't forget anything. We had everything we need and then some for this moose hunt. I mean, yeah, we were very prepared for this moose hunt. So Jason, if you're still on here, what are some, oh, look at this. So Jason, what would you bring on your moose hunt? Let's see, I mentioned camper, buddy heater, heat, fire. I already went over fire starting. I already went over the first aid stuff. What did I forget? Let's see, I did the field dressing, so I had really good sharp knives. I had a knife sharpener. I cut this bull open and field dressed it. I had my cape. I had knives to cape with. I caped this bull. I caped it completely off the skull. I did a full 100% caping of this moose, and we went to the local store. We had to drive quite a ways, like over half hour from the camp we were staying at to get the pickle and salt. I pickled him, pickle salted that, came down. It was warm the rest of the week. We stayed the whole week as we paid for it. We paid for the camp. The camp we were staying at had a hot tub. We were spoiled. We had a hot tub, Jason, at the camp we were staying at. Jacuzzi and hot tub. But I made sure to preserve that cape with pickle and salt, and I rough fleshed it, cut off all the fat and meat and pickles. I tanned that moose cape. I did my own tanning of it, and I mounted that moose. Let's go look at the moose mount. Let's go to photos. I'll show you the moose mount. Let's see here. The moose mount's up here. So, there's some family pictures. I went by my wife. There's some turkey pictures. That's my trophy. The process of my trophy buck. Last year's buck I shot. My bow. I'll have that on the wall soon. I videoed and filmed. I took video of the process of that. So I'll be putting together that episode of me mounting my trophy buck from last year. I'll be putting out some taxidermy videos at some point. Oh gosh, let's see, where's the moose mount? There's some fish, other mounts I did. It's up here before Christmas photos. So we got the moose all packed up. Here it is on Jason's floor. Look at that. Come out pretty nice, huh? So this is my first ever moose mount. It shows the detail of his muscles. This is in my best friend Jason Coombs' living room. I think the mount come out pretty good. So I mounted that. I caped it, preserved it in the field. Oh my word. What am I doing? Oh yeah, let's go back at the back arrow. So here are the guys holding the moose. Yeah, the mount come out pretty good. Here's another view of them. The ears, eyes. I think the mount come on. All right. Look how we had to pack them up. Big old blueberry tote. There's the nose. How come out all right for my first ever moose mount. The eyeball. Yeah. So yeah, it's very important to if when you go on a big, large mammal hunt, you never know the weather. Um, so you want to have a way to cape your animal and preserve it. It's a good idea to bring pickle and salt with you. Yeah, you should have lots of pickle and salt when you go on a trip, like a moose hunt far away from home, far away from stores. If you're miles away from any store, stores could be closed, so you wouldn't be. And they might not carry pickle and salt, might not carry caping knives or the ability tools you need to cape out a trophy. You want to preserve that trophy, so it's a good idea to study YouTube videos on this Google search how to properly cape a deer and moose and a bear off, like fully cape them off the actual skull, from the jaws, the eyes, the ears, and how to rough flesh them and pick and rub in the pickle and salt. It's got to be pickle and salt. It can't just be regular table salt. Can't have iodine, non-iodized salt, pickle and salt. And you got to rub it in. The salt, pickle and salt draws the moisture and all the blood, fluids, and moisture away from the skin of the animal. And it sets the hair, so there's no spoilage at the hair follicles, and so the hair doesn't fall out, slip off the skin. So it's very important, vitally important that you cool the animal quickly, cool the head and cape shoulder area down. Don't roll up the cape, a head inside a warm, hot cape or body. It would spoil from the inside out. You want to cool that down to air temp to like 40 to 50 degrees. Cool that right down. Rough flesh it, pickle salt it. Keep that cape cool and salted and free of any moisture. Draw that moisture out of that skin, all that fluid and liquid out of that skin, and dry them. The pickle salt will dry it like cardboard. That skin should be stiff like cardboard and dry like cardboard, and there should be no moisture, no blood at all soaked into that skin, spoiling that skin and causing hair slippage. So that way you could preserve your trophy cape when you're out there on your trip. Let's see, it says, nice bull, bet it was tasty. It looks like a nice moose mount. Have you done any fish mounts? No, I have a trophy salmon in the freezer that I caught ice fishing. I want to be my first attempt at a fish mount. I've got my trophy brown trout I caught on our fly fishing trip this past summer in the freezer that I want to mount. So Jason, I will eventually practice with fish on my own, obviously. So I do plan on attempting fish mounts eventually. But yeah, so yeah, a lot of guys and a lot of people out there that don't know a thing or two about preserving the cape and going on backpack trip, on a wilderness trip for trophy moose hunt or trophy bear hunt. You could be in a situation where that animal could spoil, the cape could rot, spoil, and then it's no good, and you can't use it for your trophy mount. So yeah, these are some things. So in prepping for your moose hunts, it's vitally important that you have your list of things must take with you. I went over all this. I'm just a repeater here. I keep repeating myself about first aid kit, survival kit, all things you take in a pack, and clothing layers, and all that. All that was in the beginning of this live stream, but also in preparing for trophy moose hunt, study up on how to properly fully cape off the skull, and how to preserve your trophy cape. Look up videos, watch videos and instructions, go over instructions on how to properly field dress a moose. A lot bigger than a deer. We've all grown up deer hunting and field dressing deer with our stuff, and we've got experience in that. But a moose is a different story, man. You can you're almost climbing into the chest cavity of this animal to get out get the windpipe and heart and lungs and all the entrails out of this moose. It's totally different than a deer. Yeah, so it's helpful to, yeah, before going to go over all that, kind of get that wrapped around your head. That, oh wow, yeah, they are bigger than a deer. Oh boy, what am I gonna do about that? And oh gosh, see what else in prepping for your moose hunt. You should. It's helpful too to do what Jason and Josh did, and like Thunder and his friends did, and months prior to the actual moose hunt, they went. They took a weekend and went up to the area where they were going on their moose hunt, like a couple months in advance, and they put boots on the ground and scouted, and they talked to locals, and it's helpful too to kind of know a few guides. Josh and Skip, these are friends that were on this trophy bull moose hunt with me. I was the cameraman for and stuff. And Josh, Skip, they're friends with a guide, registered Maine guide that guided bear hunts, moose hunts, and so forth and so on. And this guy, family friend who was a guide, led Josh, Jason to a good spot. He informed them of a couple bulls, really nice bulls that were hanging with some cows, loitering around, particularly some cuts that were off. These cuttings, these clear cut, selective cuts, these old skidder trails and stuff that we were hunting in and on, you could not see from the dirt road. Where we were hunting, you couldn't see any of it from the road whatsoever. It was hidden. And when we were in there hunting, we heard other moose hunters driving by, trucks coming and going, passing by the area we were hunting. We had it to ourselves. It was hidden by a thick wall hidden by big berms, a big like slope of berm, like of dirt and grown up saplings and ferns and bushes. This is a thick wall of forest that was hiding these hidden cutovers, old cuttings and old skidder trails back in the woods that had plenty of moose sign. There was cows in there. When Josh and Jason went and scouted this area where we hunted, they did jump a cow in there. They saw a cow, so there was a couple of cow or two or more living. Their home range was right there. They were living there, and they saw evidence, a sign of bulls in the area. And this friend of the family's, that's a guide, registered guys, assured them there were two good bulls that were hanging there because of the cows were there. So the bulls naturally were there. We actually did this trophy bull moose we went on was during the rut. It was towards the tail end of the rut. The moose rut is in like September. The moose rut starts, like the pre-rut starts in September and goes through October. So the moose rut is earlier than the deer's. It's like late September on through October. And this was an October moose hunt. We were right we went on during the rut phase for the moose. And we were able to like call in this bull. Calls worked and brought him in. And we used some like immature young bull calls that he was coming in looking for a fight. This bull came in charging, wanting to fight. And we were successful because of the scouting, the tip we were given by a guide, and this area being hidden by the road. There were no other hunters whatsoever going in this area, disturbing the area and scouting it and wanting to hunt there. We had this particular area all to ourselves. And so it's very, very helpful to go a couple months in advance before your trophy moose hunt and to scout and find these kind of hidden gems, these secluded hidden areas, older cutovers, and find these old skidder logging trails that are grown up with saplings and ferns that are back into the woods, places where 90% of other hunters won't want to go. 90% of moose hunters are going to stay in their trucks and just drive the roads and such. So let me go back to my computer. So I don't have to be bored with my mug shot all night long. But yeah, so 90% of other moose hunters are going to be driving them dirt roads, hoping to spot a moose from the truck. But you're better off putting boots on the ground and getting into the back country. See, where am I here? What's this a video of? I see so here we are heading in on the morning. This was the first morning of our moose hunt. Let's see, it says, Jason says the head, snout, nose areas are tricky areas. At least on beavers, yes. That's right, Jason. Yeah, Jason, you must be referring to like caping out, skinning, caping animals. Yeah, beavers would be tricky. It is extremely tricky caping out an animal off the skull, like the eye. You got to be extremely careful with the the eyes. It's for the most part, when starting out, most people are going to nick the eye, cut the eyelids a little bit when caping or caping around the eyes. And a lot of people might cut the lip line a little bit, might mess up around the ears. But a lot of the mess ups from caping yourself in the field can be fixed by a good taxidermist. A lot of your blemishes and mess ups with the knife, if you slip a little bit, they can be fixed. Because I obviously when I've been practicing taxidermy for like 3 years, Jason, and in the first several deer I've caped and bear and moose and stuff that I've caped, I did cut the eye around the eye a little bit. I had to sew them with iridescent, like almost, it was like a see-through kind of invisible thread. I have this really cool sewing thread that's hard that you can't see, that you can sew from the skin side out. You can sew those little nicks and holes and sew it up, and then you can put a little dab of super glue over the sutures to help hold it. And then obviously once the animal's caped on the mannequin and stuff, and you're doing your finishing work, you can use some epoxy and airbrush and to blend all that in, all those blemishes in and stuff. You can hide all that. So a good taxidermist can fix your mess ups from your caping around the eyes. You see the ears and eyes. The nose. Yeah, you can also nick the nose. The nose pads are the easiest to fix. If you do slice through the nose pad of an animal and caping out around the nose, caping your animals, I found that's the easiest to fix. If you slip with a knife and stuff, but so let's see. Let's get off this video. Let's see. I was looking for the actual hunt. Special unit moose. What's this a video of? Are we in the truck or something? Oh, that's thunder. Let's go to this folder. What do we got here? Some scenery maybe. Oh yeah, so this is where Thunder and I and his friends were camping. So that's a lake. This lake here in Maine is the only lake that supposedly has musky lunge in it. So, Jason, where do you suppose that is? Anybody know what lake in Maine has musky? That would be that. That's where we're camping. So here's our camper that we were staying in. I was trying to explain. It's a little pop-up camper. We had a buddy heater in here. We had our sleeping bags up in there. Here's our sleeping quarters. There's the buddy heater. So look at all the gear we got. We got sleep. Let's see, there's the buddy heater. There's some food. So that's where we cooked. We had our grills over there. Here's our coolers with our food. The tank and the line connected to the buddy heater. Keep us warm. That's what I'm clearly talking about when I'm showing with my camera. Showing our living situation. So this was a comfortable moose hunt. This wasn't really roughing it too bad. A lot of folks will sleep in tents or backpack type tents or outfitter type tents and stuff. So a lot of people will sleep in those outfitter type tents that have no floor, and you can put like a little wood stove in. So here's our picnic table with our grill. So we could keep a lot of gear and supplies just right in our trucks, pickup trucks. There's a fire ring that we sat around with other camp friends, other campers. These guys, this shelter, or these tents right here, these guys that were staying right here are from where I live. They're from my area. What a small world, huh? They drew a moose permit for that same unit. There's their truck. There's my truck, my Tundra over here. See, look at that. The lake, the tide was coming in on the lake. No, the water was rising, and our pickup trucks were ending up underwater. The water was coming up. This is my truck here on the left, this Tundra. Look at that, the water was rising. The water was down here. You can see the rock behind my tire. We got rocks at our tires there to keep these vehicles from rolling into the lake. But the water level was down here. It rose several feet while we're there. Oh, let's see. Somewhere near the St. John River. You got it. Yes, that's right, Jason. Yeah, cool. Yeah, I thought we were. It was the St. John. That lake was part of the St. John River. That was the part of the river that opened up into like a lake. The river ran through that lake. It was, if you went in the water from where we were camping and went way out, you'd end up into the river, the St. John River. So yes, the muskie lunge. Muskies live in that lake. Oh, let's see here. What else do I want to show? So here we are on the cut. So this was the cutting. It was an older cut. Had some older, like couple-year-old saplings. This was like a 2 to 3 year old, probably a 2-year-old cut. At least 2-year-old. I don't think it was a 3-year-old cut. I think it was only about a 2-year-old cut. And no one knew about this. We had this place to ourselves. So yeah, so when planning your moose hunt, going scouting months in advance, you want to find these hidden treasures, hidden gems, these hidden areas off the beaten path, places that other hunters don't know, and you could increase your success tenfold. Yeah, we were using an e-collar to sound some moose calls. We had several different moose calls, mouth calls. We had an e-collar. We tried different calling tactics and stuff. But we did call in that bull moose. Let's see. Let's go up into the beginning here. What's this a video of? There's Josh. Look at that view. It's pretty. This is one area it was like late morning, and we just kind of sat it out, did some calling, in hopes to get a bull to come take a look. And this was the first day of our moose hunt, and we actually tagged out on the first day, the evening of the first day. Oh, it was a great hunt. Oh, let's see here. So I've been live. I've been live over an hour or about an hour. Yeah. So, prepping for a moose hunt. Oh, there's the bull again. Let's go up. Here, I want to show the camp. Oh yeah, Jason, you gotta see where's the camp. Yeah, we're here. Here's the camp we stayed in, Jason. Here we go. My wife's coming up. You guys might see my wife in the background going to bed. So here's the camp we stayed in on our moose hunt. We had a hot tub over here. That's my truck. I was the first to arrive to camp. We stayed in this camp 3 years in a row for some deer hunting. For 2 years, the first 2 years it was for deer hunting. Third year we stayed in, it was for the moose hunt. Any other camp videos? Let's see here. So here's the trailer that Skip brought with the gear on it. So here we got, look at those big coolers. Well, that's for the moose meat. They purchased, oh yeah, that's right, okay. Yeah, see, I forgot about this. So when prepping for your moose hunt, you need to have a way to get your meat cold fast, freeze your meat, and get it home without spoiling. See, they got 3 we ate all this food while we were there. And they also have got, they froze milk jugs full of ice. They had tons of ice. So we emptied these coolers by eating the food while we were there at camp. And we were able to Oh, I think actually a couple of these coolers are empty anyway, or have room for the moose meat. So we had 3 of these big honking coolers to put the meat in. I think that's the bed. Was that the bed liner? It was. Let's go back. Oh yeah, they're sitting on the bed liner. Look, there's the bed liner with the beam. Those coolers are on the bed liner, anchoring it down, keeping it from blowing off the trailer. But yeah, let's go back to the beginning. Yeah, see, there's the beam. Oh wait, let's pause. There's the wooden beam. So that's a bed liner from an old pickup truck. And it's bent right there. And has the beam, the bolts and stuff in it. That was used to help drag the moose out of the woods. That got the front of this bed liner, that got attached to the back end of the four-wheeler. So let's see here. I'm going to have to end this live stream soon. I've been just rambling nonsense for a long time now. Let's see, what are some other videos I should show you guys? So I don't think too many people are still with me live. There's a handful of you. A bunch of people already dropped out for the evening because it's past their bedtimes. I imagine it's past my bedtime. I don't need to bait tomorrow morning, but I baited this morning, so I don't bait. I'm going to hunt tomorrow. Hopefully the bear comes in tomorrow, Jason. I'm actually excited for tomorrow evening's bear hunt. I'm kind of feeling good things about. I think I might seal the deal tomorrow night. Get my bear. What's this a video of? Oh, let's just hit play. This might show a little bit of where we were hunting. See, who's this? It is, kind of. I think we were looking for biddies, for gruff, grouse, partridge, whatever you want to call them. Yeah, so see, we tagged out on the first day, and we just partridge hunted, or went grouse hunting the remainder of the week. That's a little 20 gauge shotgun that folds in half, fits in a backpack. Yeah, that folds right completely in half. This butt of the stock kind of nestles right here in the forearm. That can fit in a backpack. It's 20 gauge. My son actually shot his first deer with this 20 gauge shotgun with a slug at like 42. Dropped the deer at 42 yards, open sight, no scope. That deer dropped in its tracks with a 20 gauge slug. And that's how my son got his first deer. Oh, let's see here. What other videos do we want to show? 2023 bull. I gotta go in the right folder. What's this a video of, guys? Hit play. Is this the morning of our hunt? It might be. Okay, so here's. Oh, so you see, a few of you have probably already seen this by now. Jason's in a cast. He had to actually learn how to shoot left-handed. He's right-handed. He had to practice shooting his rifle left-handed because he had a golfing accident where he like tore a tendon in his arm. He couldn't use his right arm. He was casted on and he drew the moose permit, made him the sub-permittee. This guy here, Josh, is the sub-permittee. Jason drew the permit. And I'm obviously the cameraman. So this was the morning of opening day on our moose hunt. See, you want to have, it's helpful to have a chair to sit on. Here's some of the items you might not think to bring on a moose hunt. A little camping chair to sit on, that's helpful. If you're going to sit and do some calling and kind of sit out and wait on a moose like you would wait on that trophy buck in your tree stand, it's helpful to have something comfortable to sit on for multiple hours of sitting and calling. Let's see what else we're showing. See there. Oh, he's helping Jason with his chair. And in his pallets, he's got some rope. He's got some knives, a brand new knife, it looks like. Oh yeah, that's helpful. Some scent. We did add some moose attractant lure with us and some scent wicks and stuff. We had a moose balm, Tinks, moose scent. That's right. We did spray some of that out on some wicks and branches around us. So we had some of that out to help cover our scent and also in hopes to attract a bull. And we did some calling. So there's Jason. See, there's his cast. Jason Torres, these tendons in his arm. He had to have surgery in his arm and had to be casted right before his moose hunt. What are the chances of that? Just kind of luck that guy has. So there's his rifle. Let's see. Yeah, so that's the morning of our opening day of the moose hunt. What else do I want to show? So any of you guys have any moose hunting tips you want to share? Anything you want to say about moose? Maybe some cool moose facts you might have learned along the way? Anything you want to share about moose? I'm going to in later live streams and obviously video uploads on my YouTube channel. I will share some really cool facts about moose, and I have some really cool stories to share that I learned from biologists that I run into. Bull moose aren't as dumb of an animal as people think. A lot of people think moose are stupid or dumb animals, but they really are not. I already have a video up on my channel about that goes over. It's titled like "Moose are smarter than you think." They really are. Moose are. They're not. I don't know. Just a lot of people just think that moose are these just big, stupid, dumb, kind of clumsy creatures, animals. But they're especially a mature, older bull moose. This bull moose that we shot on this hunt was the biologist at the tagging station actually said that our moose was over 5 years old. They said our moose was somewhere between 5 and 7 years old, and he weighed 860 something pounds, field dressed. Live weight, he was between 900 and 1,000 pounds live weight, our moose, and was somewhere between 5 and 7 years old. And yeah, so I want to share that story next Monday night about moose, about just how smart moose are. I have a really cool story to share, illustrating that moose are not as stupid and dumb that a lot of people just think that they are. So, anyways, I've been live long enough. So I hope that all of you that are here with me live, when you go on your future moose hunts, hopefully you don't forget something very important, vitally important, because you could be hour and over several hours drive into the wilderness, and you could be packing into the wilderness. You could be going up and over mountains. You could be way out there. You could get turned around and lost very easily, potentially on these moose hunts. So hopefully you're very well prepared and not ill prepared. And so, yeah, that's what this live stream was all about. The beginning of it, anyway, I talked about the important things you should bring with you on your moose hunt. Obviously, I probably forgot some things I should have mentioned, but that's what we have the World Wide Web for, right? You can just search what to bring, type in your search, what to bring on a moose hunt, how preparation for a moose hunt, and all kinds of YouTube videos will pop up and all kinds of other information. So I just highly recommend that you do your thorough research and study and go a couple months in advance to the area where you drew your moose permit for and put boots on the ground, scout thoroughly, and find those secluded, hidden areas that you can't see from the roads, dirt roads that are in the back country, that 90+% of the other hunters won't know about, won't go to and hunt. You could have the whole area to yourself, but obviously be certain that moose are living there first. Scout out an area, find where there's plenty of cows around that are going to keep the bulls at bay, keep the bulls nearby. The bull moose, they kind of gather up a harem of cows, very similar to your elk. They'll court the cows and tend them and kind of hang with them, stay with them cows, and kind of have several cows nearby, kind of a harem of cows, like a An elk will have a harem of cows themselves. Like, the moose and elk, they kind of treat their cows similar in a similar way, similar fashion when it comes to the mating season, the rutting ritual and mating season stuff. So do your thorough scouting way in advance. Yeah, make sure you bring everything you need. And so yeah, thank you for joining me live here this Monday. So next Monday night I'll go live again. It's gonna be more content on moose hunting, and actually to be specific, next Monday night I'm going to share a really cool factual story that I got from a biologist that I ran into to illustrate just how smart moose are. Moose are not dumb animals. They're smarter than you might realize. You might think. So thank you for being here with me live. Hey, Jason, go get your bear, buddy. Jason says, I hope you get that bear tomorrow. Did you get a moose tag this year? Oh, Jason, I didn't get the moose tag, but those guys you saw in the videos, one of them, I think they drew another moose tag. So I am going on a moose hunt in October. I'm going on a moose hunt as a cameraman and to help keep it and preserve it and stuff and do all that. Going on a moose hunt, buddy, but I didn't draw the moose tag. But yeah, I hope I get my bear tomorrow. I hope you get a bear, Jason. Good luck on the rest of the way, Jason, on your bear hunt. And I'll see you back here next Monday night, Jason, so you can hear that story that I want to share with everybody about how smart, intelligent moose really are, especially mature bulls. All right, good night, everybody. See you next Monday.